All right, here we go. Here we go. Now we're live. Now we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on Keeping It Real with Credit. I'm your host, Ray from Keeping It Real. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because on this channel, we talk anything and everything regarding credit, personal finance, tips and tricks on real estate, automotive, you name it. You're definitely going to find it here. So, welcome, all of you guys that are just tuning in. We're going to be discussing a few things today. I know we before in other live sessions we show before and afters. This time we're going to show before and afters of just a few clients that I've had that have actually graduated within our program, and show you where they started and kind of like the journey of where they finished at. Right. This way you guys could get a better idea as to the different time frames that it takes to actually get credit fixed. Right. Because everybody's different and a lot of it entails one, the information that we find on your credit report and what information the credit bureaus have, banks have, collection agencies have, right? And really the only way to find out what truly is the information that they have is by triggering again an investigation through a validation process, right? And obviously, as we all know, based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if in 30 days they can't prove it, then they must remove it, right? In a nutshell. So I want to go ahead and show you that. And also, guys, keep in mind that we are selling authorized user trade lines. Again, if you guys need an extra boost or help, we're going to go ahead and talk about that a little later here in the show. Other than that, guys, welcome. Let me see here. All right, so I see a few of you guys already tuning in. Awesome. Bro, what's up? How you doing? Vanessa, hello. Hey, how you doing? Robin Spruelli. Oh, Spruel. Hello. Um, Joseph Gomez, what's up, man? They can put it back even after 30 days. Um, Joseph, what are we talking about there, if you don't mind me asking? Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and let's start. I want to start off by saying as well, the number on the screen, guys, is my actually direct number. It rings right here. And so that way you'll be able to go ahead and text my number. In addition to that, to even call in, if you have any particular questions at all whatsoever, excuse me, any particular questions at all whatsoever, you're definitely gonna go ahead and we'll be able to answer it here with my credit analyst or with me myself. So again, it's very important for all of you guys to have my phone number because I want to be available to you guys for any questions or concerns and to discuss any options that credit repair can go ahead and resolve and increase credit scores. Right. So that's the number on the screen. And then in addition to that, I want to go ahead and share something. That way, at any point, you guys want to schedule an evaluation. So, guys, what I talk about when I put the link to get a free credit evaluation, what I'm mostly talking about is, obviously, let's say this is actually one of the latest videos where I discuss, how trade lines boost your scores and that we're selling them. So, if we're watching this video, you want to go ahead and click right here. Right under here is the description. So here I include a lot of links. It might not be extended like that, but for example, if you scroll a little bit lower, boom, you're gonna see here, check out our available trade lines, right? So that link right there, if you click that link, it's gonna show you all of our available trade lines for this month that we're selling. But if you extend it right here, you're gonna see another link called Start Your Credit Repair with Us with this link. So you click here, this is gonna go ahead and take you to the sign up page, right? And let me see if I can actually include that in there so you see what that looks like, right? Um, Let me go ahead and add this for you guys. And so that link right there, it's going to go ahead and take you out to our landing page, guys, right here, right? So this is our landing page. You put your information on here, and it has a lot of information, right? Never ever pay collection, see results in as little as 45 days, right? It has some information on, more or less what we're going to go ahead and do for you and what it impacts here. And this is how this is pretty much our process here, right? We first evaluate, then we challenge, we dispute, and we continuously monitor your credit, just to go ahead and stay on top of the ball there, right? Then there's some information on me there, and if we scroll down, here's some reviews that we've had some for our clients, and then these are before and afters, right? And just so you know what you're looking at, right? So I wanted to go ahead and first of all share that so you guys know first off where everything's at, right? And then we can go ahead and move forward. So, guys, let's go ahead and move on with the first round of results here. Let me go. Let me go ahead and here. All right. So let's move on with our first round of results here. This client actually started here with us, right, all the way back in. Let me see. Yep, this client started with us back in January, right? January 16th of 2020 is when he did the evaluation. And guys, for those of you guys don't know, this right here is the evaluation, right, that you get as an email anytime you do an evaluation with us, whether you do business with us or not, right? So it's going to have a lot of information on credit, information on credit, so you get an idea of what you're looking at, where you fall within the credit scoring model, and then obviously your information. Everything is tailored to your information. So this client came over to us with a 687, 681, 678 back in January, right? And he started off with us with 36 negative items, right? So this kind of picks up on the negative items and it kind of details it here for you. This is what we do here for you, so that you have a clear idea as to what's really hurting your negative items across 3 credit bureaus with the problem right here. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with some of these accounts, hence since some of you guys may have it, right? And then this person also had one inquiry back in January, and then utilization pretty great, right? So $2,300 in available credit, and has only used $64 of it, right? So putting him at a 3% utilization. So let's get a better idea now. Let me see. So let's go ahead and get a better idea as to where they're at today. So as of August the 12th, right? So that was January 16th, and now as of August the 12th, their scores have actually jumped up 758, 703, and 747. Remember when they started off with 36 negative items? Now down to 6. So we've removed 30 negative items. Obviously, they're still in the program, but their scores have gone up tremendously. And because of that, I think if I remember, just 2 more inquiries, which is not this is not bad at all. However, they got approved for those credit cards because of the credit score increase. So this increased their total utilization, right? Even though he spent a little bit more, $132 out of 5,300 is 2%, right? So that right there is definitely a huge increase. So this person started off with us in January, so it took a little bit, but regardless, is what I tell people, right? They just got access to additional lines in credit, and this credit score is great, right? It's enough to lock you in at the best interest rate, and big, larger amounts of money if you need it, right? When it comes to getting a loan, or a credit card, right? And that right there is ultimately the goal. All right, and so let me go back here. Let me see. Awesome, guys, and so before we move on to the next, let me take that off. All right. So once we move forward from that, let me go ahead and answer some of you guys' questions. I see some of you guys have questions already. And let me just say, hey Baron, what's up? How you doing? Kimberly Bryant, how you doing? Jeannie, yeah, Jeannie, right? Hello. Raquel, hey, how you doing? From Corpus Christi, Texas. Texas in the house. Joseph Gomez, a negative item on the credit report. Oh, so you're referring to the other one. So they can put it back even after 30 days. So Joseph, I guess he made a comment before stating that collections can be added back on your credit report. So first off, let's go back to what I usually say, right? So there's something that's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? And we always say it by now that the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that if something's unverifiable, inaccurate, or incomplete, it must be corrected or removed. See, when an item gets removed from a credit report after disputing it, it was because it was either inaccurate, unverifiable, or incomplete. Some piece of information in which the way it was reporting on there, right? It doesn't just fall off just to fall off, or for whatever reason that you think. So if it falls off, the reason they cannot put it back on your credit report, right, is because first off, they have to give you a notice in the mail 5 days prior, right? And if they added it back on there, then that's obviously a violation in the Fair Credit Reporting Act in the way that's reporting. So obviously it was deemed unverifiable, inaccurate, and complete. Therefore, it cannot be added on there. The only way and the only time that I've ever seen collections get added back is if the collection is under a different company's name. Let's say that collection agency, since we removed it, they went ahead and sold it off to another collection agency. Then it appears with a brand new account with something else on it. It's very, very rare that that happens. But if it does happen, it should be a simple fix, because if the other collection agency wasn't able to validate within a reasonable time frame, then how do you think the other collection agency is gonna, respond to that? And by then, it might not even be worth it. So that happens very rarely, but it only has to happen in this way. So I just wanted to give you an idea so that you guys could think through, if items can be re-added, right? So we already know that items cannot be re-added, because if it got removed, it was because it was either deemed unverifiable, inaccurate, or incomplete. So hopefully that makes sense there. Um, Let me see. Astrid, hey, how you doing? Where can I invest my money other than the stock market? Whoa, that's a big question. Actually, we're actually shooting our first podcast episode this Friday, called Money Moves Miami, and it will be a discussion between my partners and I, on things like that, investments, business, entrepreneurship, things that are going on around the world and the news, and kind of tie everything together. So I would suggest stay tuned for that next episode real soon, and let me know what you guys think about that. Luisa Lawrence, hey Luisa, how you doing? Hey, quick question: how do I rotate my credit cards to pay each other? All credit cards require you to pay them through your checking account. Yes. How do you rotate them with having to use your check with? I would assume you're saying without having to use your checking account. So Luisa, that's going to be pretty hard. You cannot pay credit with credit, right? I mean, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to take out money with your credit card on an ATM, and that's going to charge you a ridiculous interest rate if you use like some sort of a cash advance from there. If anything, what you should do is do what I do and use more of your credit cards as opposed to your debit cards, right? Because to me, a dollar is a little bit more valuable on a credit card, in my opinion, depending on the incentives that your credit cards have, right? Travel miles, cash back, points. I love the cash back option, because that just means that I get things a little that much more cheaper. So what I do is I apply all my bills on a credit card that has cash back, um, and I apply them on specific dates, right? So that way they're not being charged until after the report date of my credit card. So I have them charged after the reporting date of the credit card, and I have any bills that I can pay with a credit card on my credit card. And what I do is that percent of cash back that I get, I just recycle back into the card, so that way when I make my payment back to the card, you know, I pay that much more. Um, I pay a little less, right, depending on the cashback benefit. So the thing is, a lot of people may get stuck when they're having all their bills, they're spending money on their debit card, and then still using their credit card, right? So then now you just increase the amount of debt that you have to pay back, and if you're not careful, um, you may exceed that amount versus the amount that you're making or bringing into your home, right? So you have to be very careful of that. And that's just my strategy. Other people have other opinions, but I found something that worked for me, and I think it's pretty simple, straight to the point, and obviously easy to manage, right? If you're on top of things. So hopefully that right there makes sense. Tracy Bunch, hello. Hey, how you doing? Robin asked, is it possible to have late payments removed? Absolutely, yeah. So we remove late payments all the time, and we even reverse them, right? So late payments, however, they're a little bit more difficult. We have our way around that, but for the most part, payment history is the number one biggest factor that affects your credit score, right? 35% of your credit score is just payment history alone, and so we have to be very careful with that. And if the late payment is very recent, it makes it even harder to get that disputed, challenged, or even removed, right? So we have to be very careful. But can they be removed? Yes, they can be removed. We remove them here all the time. Um, as a matter of fact, if you notice the example that I showed you before, a lot of those were 30-day lates and things like that. So some of them we was able to overturn the late payment or remove the whole count as a whole. So yes, they can definitely be removed. Fallback one said, as an authorized user on a credit card, does the activity apply to both users after you're applied as an authorized user? Yes. So for example, somebody adds you as an authorized user, and let's say they have a $10,000 credit card open for 10 years, and you get added as an authorized user, that information will report on your credit report like if you had $10,000 for 10 years. So that payment history, the activity, all that is going to be reported on there for you. That's why we have available trade lines where we help people out, right? So we have trade lines that we're able to add you guys on for the period of about 60 days. And that right there within those 60 days, with that boost, that credit boost, however that much you got, you're able now to go ahead and apply for your own credit cards or lock in your next car, your home, whatever the case may be. So that definitely does help a lot. Mary Rowland, hey, how you doing, Mary? She asked, if I pay off my car, will my credit score go up? Trying to get my score up so I can purchase a home by the end of October. So yes, it should go up because you're reducing, um, especially when you're buying a home. You want to make sure that your debt to income ratio is pretty low, right? But yes, if you pay off your car, it should go up. However, we got to keep in mind that when you look at how credit is formulated or structured, right, it goes from payment history. So that's why you want to make payments over time. um, then it's availability of credit, right? How much credit you have available to you, and there's a difference, right? With credit cards report versus loans report, right? When you purchase a vehicle, let's say you're financing or leasing a vehicle, when that gets added to your credit report, you start off owing money. When you get approved for a credit card, let's say it's for $10,000, it starts off, it reports on your credit report like if you have an addition, like you're not starting off owing money, right? And so that right there, those two um, put together will increase your credit score. So to you, but yeah, if you're able to pay off your car and get that, it's one less thing to worry about, especially getting ready to buy your home. You want your debt to be as low as possible versus your income, and that obviously helps a lot. Um, Let me see here. Robin, oh, he asked on his late payment. It's about 2 years old. Yeah, yeah. Definitely, we can go ahead and take a look at it. You can always call the number on the screen or on the link in the description to schedule a free evaluation with us, so that you can go ahead and get that done. Let me go ahead, guys, and as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and paste the link, guys, so that um, it'll be easier. So, guys, if you're interested in getting more information from us, click on this link and we will definitely give you a call. We're going to send you our calendar link, and get you scheduled in today. Or if you want to call right now, call the number on the screen, and it'll ring here. Like I said, that's my direct line, my direct phone number right here. But you're more than welcome to call it and get a free evaluation. It should only take 20 minutes of your time, right? All right, so let me go ahead and we'll get back to some more questions. In the meantime, I want to go ahead and show you guys the next set of results. Let me move this along here. Right. So let's go ahead and so that was the August 12th one that we discussed. Got it. And then this is the third client here. Started with us in February 26th. And so in February 26th, this client came over to us with these scores: 651, 648, 636 on February 26, 2020. And he came with us with 19 negative items. The accounts reported below. So we have this organized very clear for all of our clients. That way they know exactly what's going on, the account, when it was opened, what bureaus they're reporting to, and what's making that account negative, right? And so this kind of lets us know here. And 36 inquiries with a utilization, a pretty decent, well, right on the threshold, right? 30% utilization. We want that a little bit lower, but this is his total availability of credit. And then as of August 12th, as of today, this client is at, he was in the 640s before, now in the 729, 737, and 719. So remember, had 19 negative items and now has two left. Started with us in February. Only two items left, just reporting on Experian and TransUnion, but 100% wiped out from Equifax. This is obviously a derogatory collection that we're still working on. This client did not include the inquiries. That's obviously an added package with us. Um, and their utilization went lower, and they increased their total availability of credit, right? So now they're in the $60,000 in total available credit. Yeah, they used 13 out of 61, putting them at a great utilization, way under 20%, and that's especially what you want there. And obviously, the lower this number gets, the higher. And obviously, when we remove this negative item, it's going to jump up another, maybe 20 points or so, 20, 30 points. And then obviously, if they want to work on the inquiries, we can do so after the fact. But for the most part, great success. 19 negative items, now has two left with the increase in that credit, in this credit score. So that right there is definitely some great news. Now let's go ahead and get back to some questions over here for you guys. Let me see. Make sure that questions are coming in fast. Sneaker Druggy, what's up, man? Asked, do you guys sell letter plans where we can do the work ourselves? No, not at all. We actually do a lot of experimenting with letters over here on a week to week basis, and so we like how different letters are used, what works, what doesn't work. But for the most part, no, we do not sell letters. And the reason I don't sell letters, guys, is because a lot of people that sell letters out there, you have to keep in mind that how many other people are using those same letters. And the reason why I say that is because when that gets scanned in and sent over to the credit bureaus, you're probably sending the same letter as a few hundred or a few thousand people used. And if something it's not worded correctly and you're just plugging in your accounts, then it might confuse it with somebody else's dispute because it looks exactly the same, right? Because it's an eOscar system that scans all the dispute letters and then kicks out a code based on what it thinks you're asking for. And so and I guess letters should be updated every certain amount of time, right? We don't use the same letters that we did when we opened up this company, is what I'm trying to say, right? It should always be refreshed, implemented, and obviously you have to be paying attention to any rules or regulations within the consumer world that we can use as leverage to get some accounts removed or to state our case a little bit better. So hopefully that helps there. Rashad, hey, how you doing? What let me see. If a different name is connected to my social security, my identity was stolen about 5 years ago, and now it's impossible to get a credit card, helping my credit history. Um, what to do if a different name is connected to my social security? I would see if you could go to the social security office, and kind of let them know what's going on, and see what options that you have, because obviously you're kind of stuck in that regard. I would go to the social security office and ask what you can do from that. Once that is clear, and your name is ready to go, then you can definitely move forward with that. But that's yeah, that's definitely a pretty difficult situation to be in. Kimberly Bryan. Hey, Kimberly. My question is, what is the process of disputing items on your credit report? Because we've been with this company for over 5 months, and I feel like going to a new company will set us back. Well, not necessarily, but for the most part, what happens is once you start, the processing team or whoever is supposed to pull your actual credit report and go in account by account and looking at everything that's reporting and how it reflects in comparison to the other credit bureaus, right? We're finding errors or discrepancies, balances, account numbers, things that don't match, things that are off or whatnot. And then you go ahead and generate a dispute letter based on what you see in that particular account, what it is that you're asking for to get it removed, to get it updated, to get it validated, whatever that is. Once you generate the letters, then those letters are sent off to the credit bureaus or to the collection agency. This again, depending on what the account shows or what it reflects or what kind of flow that process is. Once you send it to the credit bureaus, from the moment they receive it, the credit bureaus have 30 days to give some sort of response back. We usually tell people 45 days because we give that time frame, for the time that the mail uses to get there, whatever, around 45 days or so. 45 days, you should get some sort of package from the credit bureau stating, hey, these are the results from your investigation, whether something got deleted, verified, or whatever. Once that happens, you're supposed to give that to your credit restoration company so that they can take a look on what's remaining and move forward if there's still items left to move forward with, right? And so it should be a month to month process. Also, other credit restoration companies, If you're coming in with, let's say, 20 negative items, they're only disputing 5 at a time, and so that keeps you in the program longer, right? We actually don't do that. We dispute all items all at once on a month-to-month basis across all 3 credit bureaus. So a lot of companies charge cheaper because they're only disputing, let's say, 5 out of 20. We dispute all 20. That usually generates quicker results in a shorter amount of time frame, and ultimately, over time, I feel that that's helped us a lot, because the quicker you get results for people, the happier they are, and the more they're going to go ahead and recommend over. And plus, it's just something that we know how fast everybody wants credit, right? Especially when you're looking forward to make a big change pretty soon, like buying a car or a home, right? And so we usually do that. So it's, again, something to think about. Um Ultimate Coupon Lady, what's up? Do you have to pay off all of your very old debts to fix a very bad credit? No credit cards, just hospital and old bills. So no. In order to build credit, right? So if you're looking to pay back debts that you feel delinquent on, or that have late payments, eventually they're going to fall off into a charge-off status, and then ultimately into a collection agency, so on and so forth. You can choose to pay those debts back. However, the late payments from previous months are still going to remain on there, right? And so the FICO formula, uh, you know, identifies that as something negative, even if you've paid off the debt, even if it's been charged off or whatever, right? That really goes against your score. The idea is that if one of your accounts get over into collections, you don't want to go ahead and pay it right away. And I'm not saying, guys, not to be responsible for your own debts. What I'm saying is that you're dealing with a third party, not the original um, creditor that you made a contract with. And so one thing you want to really make sure is that, all right, this third party that I've never contracted before, this third party that I've never dealt with before, am I dealing with the right person? So there's nothing wrong with you asking for validation. Hey, prove to me that I owe you now this debt, right? I want to see the name, the agreement, the contract, the signature. I want to see a description of product or services that I've rendered from you. And if in 30 days you can't prove it, then the law states you got to remove it. And me personally, I wouldn't deal with no company or anybody that can't prove to me that I owe them that debt, right? That's just like any random person walking over to you and say, "Hey, you owe me $500 because T-Mobile sent me." Well, the first thing you're gonna ask is, "Well, who the hell are you?" Right? And in that sense, it's kind of the same thing you're doing, just from a I guess you could say, a legal standpoint, or in a more documented way. And so. I would say validate first and then go from there, or at least try to attempt to remove accounts that are reporting negatively on there. And again, 1 out of every 5 Americans have errors in their credit report large enough to cause them to be removed, to cause them to be denied when they should have been approved. Sorry, and pay a higher interest rate when they could have been paying lower, just off of discrepancies or errors on a credit report. So it may be an account that that you owe. However, are they reporting accurately? And if they're not reporting accurately, then it has to be removed, whether it's your account or not. And if that negative accounts get removed, they can only benefit your credit score, right? So it doesn't hurt with trying to validate or confirm what's reporting on there to make sure everything's reporting correctly. And if it's not, then it's going to get removed anyways, right? And so for the most part, that right there should clarify a few things. Now, guys, what I'm going to go ahead and show you before we reach over to some more questions. Let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and click over to the trade lines. So these are our available trade lines now. That, again, remember, guys, you're gonna go ahead and find that. You're gonna go ahead and find that in that link, right? Like I showed you guys, you're gonna go ahead and find it the very first, the second or the first link. It's gonna say trade available trade lines, right? And so these are the available trade lines we have. Right? And so let you know what you guys are looking at here. This is the price that we sell. This is the price of these trade lines, right? What we're selling them for. They go based on, the older the account is, and the higher the limit, the higher the amount, right? And so, for example, if you wanted this Chase credit card with the $15,000 limit, that's only 2 years old, it's gonna cost eight. We're selling it for $882, and its estimated posting date, right, it's gonna post on the 27th. However, it may post between the 3rd and the 7th. Once it's hit your credit report, it will remain for 2 cycles, right? 2 months. One cycle is a month, and that way you have a clear idea as to what you're looking at when you're looking for choosing the best trade lines, guys. Remember, 35% of your credit score is payment history, right? That's the number one biggest factor. You pay your bills on time, you're going to have great credit. And the longer you've been paying on time without no missed payments, you're going to have even better credit score. These accounts that we have access to provide you guys, in the agreement that we have with these account holders, they must maintain 15% utilization of the total limit. They must never have missed a payment. They must be 1 year, at least 1 year, 1 to 2 years old, right? And let me see here. Yeah, and so we go through a validation process with all of these accounts, right? So now,
Yes, sir.
35% of your credit score is payment history. So when you're looking here on the age, right, you want to go ahead and you can organize this as well. The older the account is, right, the higher the amount, and the limit, the higher the amount. So this is number one. You want to pick an old account so it can um it can increase your average age of your whole total account. Then you want to look at limit, right? Th- then you want to look at limit. You want to add on there one, two, or three, however many trade lines you want to buy. You want to add on there a limit that it's way different than what you have on there, right? Maybe bigger limits or whatnot. Um, and so that's going to add to the second biggest factor of your credit, which is availability of credit, right? 30%. So now we're focusing on age is 35, limit is 30% of your credit score or availability. So now we're focusing on 65% of your credit score. Let's say you're an individual that's has little to no negative items and you're looking to buy a car. You add one, two, or three of these trade lines. The moment they hit your credit report, your score is gonna skyrocket. And when you go to the dealership and they check your credit, they're gonna see these accounts on there. They're gonna see, wow, let's say if it's these right here. This guy has $18,000 limit, $35,000 limit. For the past 7 years, he's been paying on time. This is gonna look better for you, and so they're gonna, because of your increased credit score and what these trade lines mean to the bank that's trying to approve you for the credit, is that, hey, you're a responsible guy. We're able to, so let me lock this guy in for the or girl, for the lowest interest rate possible. And so this right here, it's designed to do that. These only report for 60 days. However, within those 60 days, you should take advantage of your increased credit score to go ahead and give you, this is just like a piggyback. This is a leverage. You're leveraging this temporary accounts that are on your credit report to be able to lock in the best interest rate for your next car, for your home, or for to apply for credit cards and see how much money you can get approved for in total with credit cards, right? Because now when these accounts fall off, all these new credit cards that you got approved for should keep your credit score to where it was at, and now for a longer period of time, because now these accounts that just got added on your credit report are your own accounts. They're permanent accounts. Now, depending on how you choose to use these accounts, that's up to you. But if you want to apply for, we had a client that, with this increased credit score, he applied for about 11 credit cards. Out of 11, he got approved for eight, totaling over $30,000 in lines of credits in total. Now he has enough money. Now what he's trying to do with that money is see where he can invest it at, or if he can open up a new business, or how can he spend those $30,000 he gained, right, from adding a few trade lines on there that he got approved for. He gained, what can I now invest this money? See, in a lot of cases, you don't have to keep saving money or working day to day. It's gonna take you a lot longer. If you have a better credit score, you're able to come up with large amounts of money to now plan your next move, your next business, your next investment, right? It's not just to go ahead and go crazy with it. You have to be strategic with it too, right? And so hopefully that right there makes sense. So obviously, guys, this is the price, this is the lender, right? This is the limit, this is the age, and this is the time frame in which these accounts are going to be added for the amount of time they're going to be added for. So hopefully that right there makes sense for you guys. And for the most part, let me go ahead. Actually, let me go ahead and copy that link to the trade lines right there in the chat, guys. There you go. You click on that link, check out the available trade lines on there. Put in your request below, and we'll be able to definitely help you out with the next set of trade lines there for you. So Let me go ahead and see if we can answer some last few questions on here. Um, let me see here. Let me see. Evan, hey, what's up? How do we view the trade lines, guys? I just included the link there in the chat, and it's also in the description, guys. So remember that. Um, Let me see. Rashad Major, hey, thanks, brother. Hey, thank you, man. Robin, do you guys work with clients in California? Yeah, we work nationwide. Excuse me. We work nationwide. So we have a portal that we access once you become a client. In there, you'll be able to ask any questions and see exactly what my processing team here is doing for you. So it's a full transparent process. We follow up with you every 15 or 30 days. We communicate very frequently. So, if anything, you're going to be fully aware of what's going on. And obviously, you're going to be receiving correspondences straight to your home, which obviously will let you know what we're doing and all that other stuff. So, hopefully, that right there answers the question. Raquel Lopez, when you send in a letter for validation, what do they need to provide you for validation? Depending on what it is that you're asking for, on your dispute letter, right? I want to see the agreement, the contract with my signature, description of product or services, a statement, a bill, or something like that of that nature. All of that. A bill just doesn't constitute validation, right? Just keep that in mind. Per the FTC, that doesn't constitute enough validation, right? So there's obviously letters for that. We have generated letters that we test out with validation of debts and proof of validation and all other good stuff. So we have our ways here, but yeah, for the most part, that's what you should expect. Julie Sosa, can you go over the process to settle debt with credit cards? Actually, Julie, if you want to go ahead and call in and kind of get some more information on that, we give that to our clients, especially when it comes time to lowering their utilization as we're moving on. So let me go ahead and see here. Debbie Ochoa, hey, do I have to pay a toll bill that has been embellished way over actual due amount? That depends on your state or your city. I know sometimes here in Miami, if you're just a person that doesn't pay tolls, eventually you're gonna have to pay them because they'll hold your registration back. They'll hold, renewing your registration or maybe getting your license. Like you might as well just pay it. I mean, I don't know if it's like that in your state, but for the most part, that's what it is. Um, Sneaker Druggy, do you offer veteran discounts? Absolutely. And I'm a veteran myself, so we work out for one another. Again, pricing is based on the amount of negative items you have, which is uncovered during a free evaluation. So if you have a quick 20 minutes, come do an evaluation here with us. Let me know that you're calling, and if you're a veteran with proof, then we'll definitely apply the discount. Raquel Lopez, I have an account that shows estimated month and year. This item will be removed at 7/22. That means July 2022. Do I have to request it to be removed, or it's automatically removed? If you do nothing, that account will be removed on the month and year that it states there. However, that's a very long time from now. So that means that in the meantime, you're gonna have bad credit. Um, if it is a negative account, but for the most part, you can dispute it as of now. The thing is that you have to know what you're looking for within the account and how it's reflected and how it's reporting to then identify to then leverage one of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, right? You have to know what these things say and how to apply it with what it shows on the account, right? What are you really disputing? What's inaccurate in the way that it's reporting? You know, how is your name spelled? How are the accounts being reported in comparison to the other two credit bureaus? There's a lot of factors that you have to look into, and once you identify that error or discrepancy, then you'll be able to leverage. Hey, based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, this states that you need to remove this because it's reporting in this way, in some way, shape, or form, right? Or if you're asking for validation, hopefully that goes there. Um, if there isn't a link, guys, there's a link in the description, like I said below. And Robin Keen, what's up, brother? How you doing? And thank you so much for that donation. Trade is good for 3 months. No, it's good for 2 months, 2 cycles, 60 days from the date that it's added on there. All right. And Robin, what is the cost of the program? So Robin, the cost of the program really depends on the amount of negative items you have, which again it's uncovered during the free credit evaluation. So that analysis that we give everybody that you guys saw on here is something that we provide and we go over with you, along with you, over the phone. So go ahead and discuss next steps and the cost, again, based on the amount of negative items you have, right? Obviously, the cost is going to be different for somebody that has one negative item versus somebody that has 65 negative items, right? And that's definitely understandable. Before I can give you pricing, I have to ultimately, check what's going on there, right? Just like when you take your car to the mechanic, we have to check under the hood and find out and identify the problem. Then once we do, then we're gonna have to make a list of what we need, and that's the cost, right? And so that's ultimately what we're kind of doing over here. Keen, can you pay for more months up front? No, you cannot. Based So the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, right? The Federal Trade Commission has something that Congress put this in place. So this is part of the government, called the CROA, the Credit Repair Organizations Act. Yes, that's an actual act, and that's a set of rules and regulations that credit repair companies need to abide by if you're operating, obviously, legally, right? So we, in the credit repair world, we cannot charge for work that we haven't already done, right? So taking payments up front, it technically is illegal. We should not do that. Um, we shouldn't do that because you're paying for money up front that you haven't received work for, right? So in our business, we get paid in arrears. So whatever we charge you monthly, you're paying for the work that was done the month previously, right? That's the law. So even if you could come up to us with two, three, five, $10,000 up front, it's illegal to take that money. I'm not going to take it, right? Everything we do here is by the book. It works, but we're by the book. We're fair, and we're extremely aggressive as to what we do when it comes to disputing negative items for people. All right, so Keen, hopefully that answers your question. But we're very, very affordable for everybody. Felipe Martinez, I heard on and off, don't don't pay collections, but need to raise my credit score. And who should I pay to remove the negative item? It depends, right? A lot of collection agencies do not offer payment for deletions. You need to ask them, and a lot of people won't even tell you until you give them personal information, which ultimately might, cause you to admit to that debt. And once you do, then that's a whole different other world, right? But for the most part, I think whether you're doing it on yourself or with a company, you should try the route of credit restoration, because we already know that paying the account is not going to remove it unless you negotiate a payment for delete, which the collection agency needs to confirm with you. You need to have that in writing, where they need to have it somewhere on the website so that you can hold them accountable. Because a lot of them will say that you do not send you anything, and then when you ask for it, oh, then we don't know what we're talking about. Believe that, guys. It happens. These collectors will tell you anything to get it. There's some good ones. There's some understandable ones. I'm saying those, for the most part, they're not going to offer you that. And so if you're going to pay for that account to be removed, rather than you invest in a credit restoration company, or you learn it, or you do it yourself, because if that account gets removed or you find an error discrepancy, then that account's not going to report on your credit report. And now your score jumps up. And again, depending on what's remaining on your credit report. All right. Um, so hopefully that helps answer your question there. Keith, what's up, man? I submitted a police report and got 5 collections off and 8 inquiries off in 3 weeks. That's awesome. If you got a police report, I'm assuming that you're claiming identity theft. And that's a big thing, guys. If identity theft actually did happen to you, then that's a scary thing. But for the most part, it does help with your credit report. However, you don't want to dispute inquiries of accounts that you did get approved for, right? So if I were to dispute the inquiry of Capital One of the credit card that I just got approved for, then they might use my account, because if you're disputing the inquiry, it states that, hey, that you really didn't request to apply for that credit card, so they'll cancel your whole account, right? So that's something that you need to look in for. But again, unless you actually been a victim of identity theft and got a police report, then you shouldn't do that on your credit, right? Because it can really hurt you in the long run. It can flag your social, whatever, and then you will never be approved, right? So for the most part, let's be more educated, let's be more informed, and let's move forward with the things the right way. Let me see here. All right. So hopefully, all right, guys. So with that being said, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short here, and we're gonna go ahead and tackle some evaluations for you guys. Guys, please call the number in the screen or text the number in the screen. That's obviously my number, and let's go ahead and schedule your free evaluation. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for the love and support. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until the next episode on Keeping It Real with Credit, peace.